Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. So I thought I would just come on here just to kind of talk about two topics that have been kind of going viral these past few days. You know, just some updates on both the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Basketball Wives. Okay, let's get into this RHOA stuff. Okay, so everybody's still talking about this damn scandal with Kenya showing the revenge pee of Eady at her event. She's been suspended, you know, big uproar, people are divided, whatever. But we're starting to learn a little bit more about how exactly was it that Kenya even obtained these pictures in the first place. So Kenya apparently is very good friends with a woman named Ming Lee. And somebody had gone under Ming Lee's Instagram and they said to her, "You messy for telling Kenya that girl's business. Cute though." To which then Ming Lee responds and says, "The internet told that girl business. What I know is still in my phone and I'm not on the show. Not my monkey, not my circus." Okay, so people were kind of like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I guess she denied it, so we're going to move on. But then this gets crazier. Kenya then announces via her Instagram that she's going to start doing a show on YouTube called Confessionals in My Words. She has this AI generated picture. I mean, out of all the pictures you have, Kenya, you have to choose a weird generated artificial intelligence picture where you have 6 fingers. Anyway, so she says, "My confessionals my way, have a lot to say, subscribe to be notified when it drops, drop your questions, only subscriber questions will be read and a chance for a live chat." So I'm not mad at it. I mean, if she wants to have her channel, talk her own whatever. I mean, there's a lot of other, you know, reality TV stars that have their channels too, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I will say, given the narrative that she's still been, you know, perpetuating online of she's still the victim and she is, oh, poor little me Kenya, I can already kind of, you know, have an idea of what her channel is going to be like and what her quote-unquote confessionals are going to sound like. Sounds a lot like Nene, and I said this on the video that I posted a few days ago. Everything Kenya ridiculed Nene on is now happening to her. To which, by the way, if I can just say, Nene actually reposted a clip of Kenya saying things about Nene, and she kind of put some laughing emojis. I took that as like, haha, you know, karma is a B. So then, speaking of having YouTube channels or doing recaps or whatever the case may be, Porsha then goes viral for saying the following.
Still on the show right now, who gave Kenya that nude information. No, I'm going to expose that. Everybody needs to know who she is. That was crazy to me.
So she said that it was somebody on the show that gave Kenya that information. To which Kenya then responds on Instagram and says, "Absolutely no one on the show gave me anything. Stop using my situation for clickbait." Okay, I mean, is that really clickbait? Everybody's talking about it. Kenya, what are you talking about, clickbait? So then another clip of Porsha's went viral.
For the rest of the season after that, and it was very unfortunate because I had great plans for us, you know what I'm saying, and I still have great plans for us when she comes back next year, or if she comes back next year. I hope she comes back next year, but we'll just see what ends up happening with that. And I didn't want anybody fired. I definitely wanted just for somebody to be maybe reprimanded, maybe some episodes or suspended or whatever. But there is a housewife, again, who is not the same one, but there's a housewife that's still on the show right now that went several times to try to get Kenya fired. And that was crazy to me because how are you going to do that? How are you going to go? I've never call for somebody to get fired. I mean, at the end of the day, we all working, trying to make a living for our kids and our families. And I would never, at the end of the day, call for nobody to get fired, okay? But this person went behind closed doors and asked for Kenya to be fired multiple times. And this person is still on the show. And it's really funny because, yeah, anyway, we'll save that for later. That'll come out later. But let's sip on that. Put a pin in that too.
Ooh. First of all, I want to know who was this housewife. Because, I mean, the obvious answer would probably be, Britt. But I don't think she's talking about Britt. Like, what other housewife could have been behind the scenes asking production to fire Kenya? I mean, maybe Kelli, because she was friends with Britt. Maybe Angela. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Angela. Angela gives me the vibe of, like, she'll do some, like, shady stuff and, like, you'll be shocked when you find out it's her. Because, like, we found out it was her that wrote the question at her dinner where things went south. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's Angela. I don't know, but I don't really want to speculate because I could be wrong. But I want to know who. Who do y'all think it is? Okay, so this keeps getting crazier. So to that clip that I just showed you guys, Kenya then replies and says, oh, well, I heard who said it. Absolutely nobody on the show gave me anything. Stop using my situation for clickbait. To which then Porsha replies to that and says, that is a lie. We talked day and night, and I personally went to the network/production and fought for you before you showed her underage explicit pics. I also went after as well because I was hurt. You had to leave. I checked on you because I cared and care. I'm not your enemy, at Kenya. Okay, first of all, the fact that she said underage, like, jumped out to me. Like, that is, if that is true, that is deplorable, that is unbelievable, that is diabolical. That is so wrong in so many levels. I have no words. Like, if that were to be true, that is disgusting. I mean, it's disgusting either way, but that would just be a whole other layer to it. I just can't. Now, here's the thing. I get that a lot of people don't like Porsha for whatever reason, but, like, this is my issue with people. Because, you guys, we as individuals, as adults with functioning brains, need to be able to hold separate thoughts at the same time. If we're having a conversation about this scandal and we hear what Porsha says, and then you got people in the comments talking about, well, you stole the girl's husband. How about that? Like, you guys, that's not what we're talking about. Keep one thing at a time, like, separately. I personally believe Porsha. I don't really think there's any reason for her to lie about this at this point. And again, we go back to the fact that Kenya is still doubling down. She didn't do anything wrong. And at this point, I don't know, she's lost. So Eady has spoken out for the first time since the episode. She went on Housewives Nightcap, and she pretty much, said what happened. And just to give it to you guys in a nutshell, because it was kind of a long interview, she pretty much said that, she was distraught that Kenya did this. She once again took complete ownership for the gun pistol comment that she made. Once again, that is one thing that I have to commend her for, is that not just on the last episode, but even up to this day, she isn't, giving any justifications for her comments. She knows that what she said was 100% wrong, and I can respect that. I can respect when somebody apologizes sincerely and is taking accountability, because it's one thing to be like, I'm sorry I said it, but when you're saying multiple times, no, I'm sorry I said it, it was wrong, I was wrong, I should have never said that, that is taking accountability. Some people seem to have like weird expectations. They're like, oh, that's a fake apology. Well, what is a real apology? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's maybe one of the reasons why she's still on, for taking accountability. And when asked about Kenya and if she would have forgiven her, Britt said that she would have actually been open to forgiving her. But after the incident, Kenya ended up blocking her, and now she is once again doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on what she did and acting like she's the victim. So it is what it is. So last part of this, I know it's a lot. So again, Ming Lee, going back to her, still going around saying that she didn't do anything wrong, whatever. Britt then comments on Instagram and says, the internet didn't tell Kenya anything because where is it all over the internet, ? Ming told me herself in a drunken night at an event in Miami for a whole hour. She has saved explicit images of me in her phone saved for a rainy day. Very weird to admit to. She ain't innocent either. Can't help we dated the same people. Okay, so Brittany's pretty much confirming that Ming has inappropriate pictures of her. Now let's talk about that, because I've seen a lot of people say throughout the past few days, well, you know, if Britt put this out, she was doing porn back in the day, that's on her. I am starting to believe that is not true, because I remember even when we found out about the scandal last year, now keep in mind the show hadn't even ended, it hadn't even wrapped filming, they were still like very much starting. People were going like crazy on internet, on Twitter, any page they could to try and see if they themselves could find any pictures, and there was nothing to be found. So this whole idea of like, oh, I searched the internet and it came up, that is not true. It is not true, because I promise you guys, I promise you, if this were on the internet, I don't care how much somebody tries to sweep their digital footprint, if this was on the internet before, we would have already seen it. It would have been out by way before now. So I think it's true. I think Ming did this. Speaking of Ming, she's going to be on the new season of Basketball Wives. I was looking forward to her being on the show. I now have a tarnished opinion of her based on all of this. So let's talk about Basketball Wives before we get out of here. So the trailer finally came out. I did a video a few weeks ago where I kind of talked about the new cast, who was coming back, what are some of the storylines that we're going to be seeing this season, because the official cast pictures were dropped. I was wondering why they didn't drop the trailer at the same time. That was a little weird, but they finally dropped it yesterday. And pretty much, again, to summarize this whole thing, it's going to be Evelyn versus Jennifer over Kristen. Evelyn really doesn't like Kristen, so we're going to see that play out. But what's going to be really interesting, and I said this on the video that I did, is that Chantel is joining the show as a friend of Jackie's daughter. And we see in the trailer Chantel pushing Jackie. And y'all,
you look as a mother.
Jackie, we can see we don't know if she slapped the S out of her, but it looked like it did, because that's when the camera cut. But you guys, what is going on? Not Jackie and her daughter fighting. I mean, listen, you weren't going to be pushing your mom around and not expect her to, take you out. But what do y'all make of this? That's going to be entertaining, but it could be like a little, like, mother and daughter. Like, we don't really want to see that. Like, but I think it's going to be a good season. I love Basketball Wives, so I'm definitely going to be covering that show. So you guys, please let me know what your thoughts and opinions are about all of this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one.